Oh my God, he's inside that car. He's trying to start the car. I need a car to roll. I'm witnessing a carjacking in progress. I am at 2109 Brymore Avenue. Brymore Avenue, yes.
Alright, what do you see?
I'm witnessing a carjacking in front of me. There's a car waiting. It's a black Dodge Durango. I can't make out the license plate. The person.
It's a person that's carjacking. Is he black or Caucasian?
It's a male black, approximately 5'11". I don't have any other descriptors for him.
Is he wearing all black?
He is.
Black male, all black, approximately 5'11".
Yes.
You said it was
He just break into a black Dodge Durango?
He broke into the Dodge Charger. It's a white Dodge Charger. He's in the car actively.
You said it was for 200.
You said a white Dodge Charger?
Yes, he's opening the hood of the car right now.
Okay, do you see, is it, you know, if it's a PA tag or jersey tag?
I can't, it looks like a PA tag on this car that brought him here. The white Dodge Charger is my car.
Oh, so he's not breaking into your white Dodge Charger. He's breaking into a black Dodge Durango?
No, he's breaking into a white Dodge Charger that belongs to me. He was dropped off here by a black Dodge Durango.
Okay, you don't know your tags?
The tags have been removed. I reported this car stolen earlier.
Okay.
They have fake tags on the car.
Okay, 1 second. So this is your car, okay.
Can you get someone here like ASAP?
I'm asking a question, that's why
Right, but I'm in an interrogation right now. Somebody's trying to steal my car. I need an officer. I understand it, but they can ask the questions when they get here. This is an active situation. Did he just hang up on me? Yo, this is the ghetto, yo. You guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. I know you guys were waiting for this video just as much as I was waiting for this video, because I have been traumatized, I have been violated, and all of the above in this last situation. First and foremost, welcome to the channel. If you have not already, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. If you have an Android, we welcome you to also do the same. I was told by my friend that has an Android that the Android users can also subscribe to the platform. Android now has the capabilities to do so. Moving into the topic that everybody wants to talk about, let's talk about this Dodge Charger and let's jump into this. I'm actually going to start off by doing my coaching, and I'm going to tell you guys about tracking devices. Obviously, if you've already seen the video, if you already heard about it from my other live streams, you know that my Dodge Charger got stolen. This is why tracking devices are extremely important. In this video, I will not be specifically naming a tracking company that I recommend because they decided that they don't want to pay me anymore to promote them or talk about them. But there are a lot of tracking devices that you can use for your vehicles. I primarily focus on and tell you guys to use hardwire tracking devices that you can have installed into your vehicles. This is not something that's very hard, but it is extremely important that you find a really good mechanic that can install these specifically for situations like this. I have a friend of mine that has a car rental business, and she does her car strictly on Turo. With her renting the cars out on Turo, her mindset was, I'm going to get the trackers and I'm going to put them in the OBD port. For those of you that don't know, the OBD port trackers, they go literally underneath your leg. There's a little outlet underneath the dashboard where you could just plug it in. Her mindset was, well, Malcolm, if they're going to steal my car, they would just unplug it. It's the same thing. If they're going to steal the car, they're going to steal the car. No, criminals are not that smart. And also, when you get hardwired tracking devices installed the right way, when they're installed the right way, the criminals, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be able to take them out. But I have a mechanic that makes sure that when he installs these tracking devices, they look like they're of our, how do I say this? They look like they're a part of the normal car. So if a person was to even say, you know what, I'm going to dedicate the time to take this car apart, they would not easily be able to identify the tracking devices. Like, they'd have to be extremely sophisticated to be able to find the tracking device. A person that's that sophisticated, we're going to want to hope and think that they would be sophisticated enough to just go out there and get the car the right way and not need to come and try to steal it from the car rental company. So tracking devices that are hardwired are extremely important. You also want to make sure that these tracking devices give you the ability to track your vehicles in real time. You don't want to be tracking your vehicles 5 minutes behind, because in a situation like what I've just dealt with, tracking the car 5 minutes behind, it will be a serious problem. Now, outside of tracking the cars in real time, you also do want a tracking device that will kind of allow you to see history, reports, and stuff like that. There are plenty of them out there. I will name a few. I'm not recommending any specific, but one of the prime ones that I will say is One Step GPS. I've heard really good things about Gold Star. Bouncy, and any of the other major tracking companies that you could think about. You want to make sure that you have this installed in your vehicle before you rent it out. I have coached so many people. I've talked to so many people. I know so many people that have car rental businesses. And one thing that I could tell you about all of their stories, they all say the same thing. The one car that they sent out without a tracking device was the one car that ended up getting stolen. You definitely do not want to underinvest in a business like this. I get it as a person that's gone into this type of industry, not having a lot of resources, but you don't want to put yourself in a predicament where you're taking a $50,000 car, a $60,000 car, or even a $20,000 car for that, sending it out with no tracking device and hoping that this complete stranger, where all you have from them is their driver's license and their debit card that probably doesn't have money on it anyway, and hope that these people are just going to voluntarily bring the cars back. That's the tracking devices. The next thing I want to tell you guys before I kind of jump into the experience of what happened with this Dodge Charger and it getting stolen. And mind you guys, I'm going to upload clips directly from TikTok because I live streamed that entire event to the point where people were commenting and saying that they thought I was a streamer. The next thing I want to talk about is insurance, right? In a situation like this, it's really important to understand how the insurance aspect of the business works, because if you don't understand that, there's no reason why you should even be doing this. A lot of people speculate and they're like, oh my God, this is crazy. Why would he be doing this? Why would you want to do that? Somebody will steal your car. Da, 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 da. It's because I know how insurance works. Insurance is the single most important thing in this business. If you are a lawyer and you don't know the law, you're not going to win any cases. It's the same thing with insurance in a car rental business. If you don't know insurance, you will fail every single time. Every single time you'll fail. So with the insurance side of things, just so you guys kind of understand, if a car gets stolen, right, insurance companies typically will allot themselves anywhere from 30 to 90 days. Don't quote me. They may have adjusted that. And it also will depend on the insurance company itself. But they will allow themselves a certain period of time where they will give themselves that window to try to go find the car. There's a lot that goes into when you report a car stolen. You have to make a police report that the car is stolen. And outside of the police looking for the vehicle, which I found that they don't do in Philly, the insurance company is going to do the best that they can to find a car. What a lot of you guys don't understand and what you don't really focus on is that you think insurance companies are your best friend. Insurance companies are your biggest ops. Insurance companies are your enemies. They're not your friends. They don't want to pay out claims. How would the insurance company stay in business if they were paying out claims? I'm going to tell you, they would not stay in business. So it's their objective to find a way to not pay out this claim. Do you think an insurance company wants to give me $60,000 for a Dodge Charger? Do you think an insurance company wants to give me $100,000 for a Mercedes-Benz? Do you think an insurance company even wants to give me $10,000 for a Toyota Corolla? The answer is no. How can they find a way to not do that? Well, if they can help me find this car, then they don't have to pay me for the car being stolen, right? So insurance companies have their own teams of people that are going to look for the cars. So when a person steals a car, they got to understand there's going to be multiple people that are going to be looking for them and going to be looking for this car. You got the police. In the case of Philadelphia, I don't think they'd have to worry too much in that department. You have me, the motivated individual whose job is on the line, and you have the insurance company. And let me tell you something about the insurance company from my experience with stolen cars. They are much more resourceful than the police when it comes to tracking down vehicles that get stolen. They're going to do everything in their power to find that car strictly because they are not going to want to pay this claim out. So with that being said, whenever or if ever I ever deal with a car that's stolen, I understand how insurance works to know that if it does come to the point where I have to file a claim and call an insurance company and say, hey, listen, this car is stolen, I know that they're going to do everything in their power to find that car strictly because they don't want to pay me for that car. Outside of that, let's just go with the hypothetical worst case scenario. I found this car, and this car, it's just beaten down, it's missing everything, it's crashed, it's totaled. And at that point, now what do I do? Well, I don't go out of business. I know how insurance works. I just filed the insurance claim and car was stolen, car was this, car was that. And because it was with the customer, whatever the case may be, the insurance will just have to pay me for the car being a total lost vehicle. Now, I will tell you truthfully and honestly, there are situations, because I don't want someone to try to say like I didn't disclose this, but there are situations where a car could be stolen and an insurance company will decide that they don't want to cover it because of the fact that it's stolen. That's a case by case basis, and obviously there's different scenarios and different routes that you'd have to go for that. But in the case of me running a car rental company, customer is responsible for anything that happens to that car while it's in their possession. And this was something that I had to explain to the customer, because he goes, well, why would I be responsible for this if I didn't do anything to the car, if I was the one that stole it? Because the car was in your possession when it got stolen, okay? It's the same way that I look at it with my niece and my nephew. My niece and my nephew are clearly not my kids. Those are my brother's kids. But if anything happens to those children while they are with me, I don't care. I will see it as 100% it's my fault because it happened while they were with me. So even if, I take my niece or my nephew to the park and they fall down and get hurt, but that could have happened while they was with well, they were with me. 100% I'm responsible. That's how I see it. And that's how it works in the car rental business. So it's really important to understand that when you rent a car from a car rental company, that you understand what it means when you say you're going to use your insurance to cover the car. It's really important to understand what the protection plans that the car rental company offers. And it's really important for you, if you're starting your own car rental company, to understand how that stuff works when you're selling it to your customers, how to offer it to your customers, and how to kind of summarize it to them. Because let's be real, most people don't read stuff before they sign it. They're looking for the cheapest possible option. If I have a customer in front of me and I tell Mr. Customer, hey, I have 3 insurance plans. You could take this one for $7. You could take this one for $20. Or you could take this one for $50. 9 times out of 10, he wants the cheapest possible option. He doesn't even want to know what it does or what it covers or what it doesn't cover. He just wants to know that he has insurance. If you know anything about the customers that run in this business, if it was up to them, they choose to have no insurance. They ask me that all the time. They're like, well, do I need the insurance? What do you mean, do you need the insurance? What do you mean? Do you? I'll skip it. Anyway, now that we talked about the insurance and the tracking devices, if you wanted to know about the insurance companies, by the way, I know you guys ask this a lot. They're like, Malcolm, hey, what insurance company should we use for the business? Like, what do we do if we want to? The car rental course is going to be your best friend. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you a discount code to get 50% off the car rental courses so that you can start the classes yourself and learn how to do this on your own. But let's jump into the story time of what happened with this Dodge Charger. Okay. So it started in the morning, right? You get what I'm saying? I as being responsible for a business like this, I don't get peace in the morning. The day never starts off with butterflies and sunshine and, squirrels chirping and whatnot. It typically starts off with a text message from somebody that I don't even know who they are, because I have so many customers that I sometimes cannot remember every customer that's in every car. But I remember this specific customer. Because I remember telling myself, like, when I met this customer, I was like, damn, that's somebody that I probably could be friends with. Like, he was a cool dude. Like, I was like, damn, he's kind of cool. Like, you don't get this often in this business. Normally, the guys come with the girls, and the girls, they say that they're not renting the cars for the guys. And then the guys say that they're not renting the cars. And, then it turns into a situation where you keep a security deposit. So I was like, wow, a guy that actually comes and he has a license and insurance. He's renting the car himself. Cool. Let's run with it. Nonetheless, he sent me a text message, and the text message goes as follows. He basically goes, call me, 911, emergency. Car got stolen. So I'm going to tell you guys, in my experience of running this business, and one gem that I'll drop on you guys, normally when it's time for a customer to return a car, if they text you and say the car was stolen, automatic red flag. 9 times out of 10, what that means is that they rented the car. They gave the car to someone else. The person that they gave the car won't return the car to them. They're trying to remove the liability from them and put it on the car rental company. Like, you know what? Okay, I'm ready to come clean. Actually, I didn't rent this car. I got it and I gave it to somebody else. They won't give me the car back. I don't know what to do. By the way, it's stolen. I don't know what to do. And go get your car. Whole time they know who has the car. They know what's going on. So I always approach the situations case by case basis, obviously, and I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But I stopped doing that a couple years ago because I realized that people will pretend they have cancer to steal a rental car.
Back after I get out of the hospital, if you guys are going to report it stolen.
But then you're going to go to jail.
So I'm ready to get your car back.
Well, if you don't.
That's another story for another day. The reason why I was willing to work with her in the beginning was because she said she was in the hospital. So she sends me this picture of her arm, right, saying she's in the hospital.
I just sent
This picture
him
is
the
from
correct
Google.
picture.
She
No,
took
I
this picture
just
from
sent him
Google.
a correct.
She's
I
been
sent
lying
him
the whole
that
time.
picture
Let's-
because I thought,
Who
no, I'm
wants to
not
help her?
lying.
Okay, well, the
Sir.
picture he's showing me that you sent him, he's showing me another picture from the same handed wristband from Google. So,
Let me tell officer, I sent him the initial picture because I thought it was silly that after.
So in my mind, I just want you guys to think about this for a second, right? If your rental car got stolen, do you think you would text the car rental company or do you think you would call them? Just these are the questions I want you to ask yourself before you be like, damn, Malcolm, why are you assuming? I just want you to ask yourself this question. Would you text or would you call? I don't know. I'm thinking about me. If I'm in a situation where I have someone's car and I'm responsible for it, first of all, I'm going to do everything in my power to find this car before I let them know. But if I really have to let them know, I'm going to call them. Like as a man, like even if it's not a business, if my homeboy let me borrow his car, I'm not texting him and telling him somebody stole your car, call me. Like, why are you texting me to call you? Why are you not calling me? Like, this seems like something really urgent. Like, could you imagine if I didn't see the text message and I saw it like 30 minutes later, an hour later, 2 hours later, and like looking at my phone, like, You sent me a text message that said the car got stolen. Like, something already about this feels shady. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me that you would put this in a text message and not call. So I called the customer. I'm like, what's going on? But before I called him, I texted him back and I was like, well, call 911. Why are you calling me? So he's like, I already called them that they're on the way. Now, from his response, it made me start to think, okay, maybe this car is stolen. Because typically, if it was a situation like I told you guys where the girl rented the car and she gave it to the guy's nowhere to be found, she would not agree to call the police. She would not. She would text me back and be like, oh, well, you guys don't have a tracker. You guys can't find it. Because he replied to me and told me, like, okay, I called the police. Basically, I was like, okay, fine. Now I'm feeling like maybe this car got stolen or whatever. So I called the guy. I'm like, what happened? And he was like, well, I went outside. I was about to get in the car to bring it to return it. The glass was on the ground and the car was gone. I called the police. I made the police report. He sent me a picture of the police report that he had made with the Philadelphia police. Mind you, this is in Philly. We're going to talk about if Philly is officially worse than the Bronx. You guys know how I feel about the Bronx. I don't think the Bronx should exist. When I become the president of the United States of America, my first executive order as president is going to be to segregate, remove, and cut out the Bronx. And we're going to just push it out into the ocean. And that's it. We want no parts of the Bronx. I think I might tie Queens into that too. And I might, if I feel like it, if you know what I'm saying, if I don't get too much pushback, I might put the whole 5 boroughs and we're just going to push them out there. And, maybe they'll just make their way to Russia, whatever the case may be. But staying on topic. He said that the car was stolen, whatever. He made the police report. All right. So boom, fast forward, right? Now I see that the police report is made. I'm taking this a lot more serious. So now I'm like, okay, cool. So he's like calling me. He's texting me, whatever. He's like, the police want to know, can you track this car? I was like, yeah, we could track this car. But I was scared to tell him that at first because I still wasn't certain that he was not involved. When I tell you guys, I've seen some crazy stuff running this business. I know you guys probably think like, oh, Malcolm, you're judging people. No, I'm telling you, sometimes you have to judge the book by its cover before the book becomes a problem. And you can't give people the benefit of the doubt. You have to give them the doubt of the benefit, because I've been in situations where I've dealt with single mothers with 3 kids that have managed to steal my car, pretend to be my mother, pretend to be my sister. Like, I've seen some crazy stuff. So I base my experience off of my experience. You understand? I don't base it off of, let's be the nice person. No, I'm telling you, running a business is not black and white. And I'm telling you, they come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. It's not no specific person. They all do it. So with that being said, I took it a little bit more serious, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to let this guy know that I could track the car, because some customers really do get surprised that we could track the car in live real time and see what's going on with it. But I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm already in the car, mind you. I'm in Jersey. I'm driving to Philly. I'm about to take the hour and 30-minute drive. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm already on my way down here. Regardless of what this guy got planned, he got 2 hours to pull this shit off. Excuse my French, but he got 2 hours to pull this off. Like, if he's going to steal this car, he got 2 hours, because I'm on my way. I'm going full speed down the turnpike. Like, this is not a situation where I'm about to wait. I'm not calling no repossession company. I'm going personally, because I got to make sure, in a situation like that, I look at a stolen car like a kid that got kidnapped. They tell you you have a certain amount of hours before the chances of you finding that kid is slim to none. With a freaking Dodge Charger Scat Pack, I promise you, I'm sure my chances of finding that car decreased by the second. So I'm already on my way down there, but I didn't let him know that. So I let the guy know. I was like, yeah, we could track the car. So he's like, okay, cool. I got the police report. I got the keys. I was like, all right. I gave him the time. I was like, I think it was like 2:14. I was like, we'll make it to you by 2:14. We'll meet you at your house. We're looking for the keys. We're looking for the police report. Okay, cool. He has both of them, right? So he gave us the keys. He gave us the police report. Now we're going to drive the next 25 minutes a little deeper into Philly to go to where the car was. So I get to the first location of where the car was, and off the rip, I'm like, yeah, something about this don't feel right, because the car was parked on the street. It was covered in a tarp. When I tell y'all, I also kind of didn't want to go up to the car, not because I was like scared, but it was mostly because I was scared, but not of what you would think of, like, oh, you scared somebody, the guy is going to be. No, I'm scared for my heart rate now, because if you covered this car in a tarp, what did you manage to do to this car that you stole in less than, I want to say, 3 to 4 hours, that you had to cover it up with a tarp that you wouldn't want a normal person walking down the street to see it? If you didn't do anything to the car, you don't think it's sus to cover up a Dodge Charger? But then again, I can't understand a person with that type of mindset, because I don't steal cars. I don't understand the mindset behind, I'm going to take a car that doesn't belong to me. I genuinely don't understand it. Like, the way I was raised, you go work for what you want. You feel what I'm saying? And if you could get that creative to steal a car, why can't you get that creative to obtain the car the right way? I don't understand it. So sometimes with me, I got to coach myself to stop trying to understand what people are doing. My stepfather told me this. If a person does something that's crazy and you understand why they did it, officially understand that you're just as crazy as them. I'm going to drop that gem on y'all one more time. My stepfather told me this. I'm not going to tell you what he was talking about when he told me this, but he said, if a person does something crazy and you understand why they did it, you are officially just as crazy as them. You shouldn't understand it. So nonetheless, the car was covered up in a tarp. It was parked on the street. So I just went ahead and I called 911. I wanted to go ahead and do the report because the car was stolen. So I was like, you know what? Let me do the report. Let me let the officers come over here and see it. Like, I was trying to mentally prepare myself for what I was going to see when I took this tarp off of the car. Now, mind you, it's Philly. It's snow. It's nowhere to park. So obviously, I couldn't get a parking spot where I could lay eyes on the car. I was kind of parked. Like, this was the street. I was parked over here. So my eyes was not laid directly on the car. I was a little bit behind it. So I want to say maybe 2 to 3 hours went by. I was just sitting there. You know, I was kicking it with the people on live. I was letting them know what was going on. You know, shout out to the TikTok. Make sure y'all follow on the TikTok if you guys are not already following. Same name, Money Malk. And make sure y'all subscribe if y'all didn't already. I know it's like 3 of y'all watching this video that did not subscribe. Click the subscribe button on the YouTube. Hit the subscribe button on the YouTube. Hit the subscribe button on the YouTube. So cool, right? Took my eyes off the car, called the police, was waiting for the police. I finally decided, I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and let me just go over here and look at this car. So I go over, I proceed to look at the car. Guess what happened? That shit was gone. Like, when I tell you, it was not in the parking spot no more. I'm sitting here like, yo, huh? Like, I didn't realize how much time had lapsed from when I originally arrived at the first location to when, like, the car was gone. Like, that shit was gone. Like, it was not the, like, I remember just staring at the parking spot. And you know when a person, like, unshovels their parking spot, like, all you saw was just the outline of the snow. And it might have been a little bit of drops on the ground of gasoline from the car that was just sitting there. I'm like, yo, the car is gone. I'm sitting here. I'm trying to process this shit in real time so that I could catch up to speed and, like, move on to the next. Like, it's crazy when you're in those high stressful, high tense situations as a business owner. You got to think and make decisions fast. But I'm sitting here like, yo, the car is gone. Now, mind you, I took Gary with me. You know, shout out to Gary. I appreciate him for going on the ride. But Gary is not the best person for emotional situations, stressful situations. He's not the type to, like, calm you down. He's the type to, like, make you more anxious or whatever the case may be. But you got to give him his credit. He was there, right? In this video, I'm giving credit. I'm not tearing nobody down. I'm going to give him his credit because he did something for me that my own relatives didn't do. He jumped in the car and he rode down there with me. I couldn't have called no relative that would have jumped in the car to ride down there with me. They probably would have looked at me and laughed and be like, ha, 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 ha. I told you shouldn't have started that car rental business. So nonetheless, I'm sitting here, right? So I'm like, what do? So I'm like, oh, check the tracker. Check the tracker. The car is now another 25 minutes away on the other side of Philly. First of all, why didn't y'all tell me how big Philadelphia was? It took me 25 minutes to drive. I think I went like 4 miles. Why didn't y'all tell me how big Philadelphia was? Now, whole time I'm questioning, I'm like, am I in the hood right now? Like, what part of Philly am I in? Because I know every place got their hood and stuff like that. Like, I'm not trying to be sitting in no hood, whatever the case may be. So I tracked the car to the next location. Now we're at this apartment complex on, I think it's Brynmore, whatever the case may be. They was attacking me on Instagram in the comments. They was like, yeah, you could tell you're not from Philly because you don't even know how to pronounce the street. Yes, I'm not from Philly. I take pride in saying I'm not from Philly. I don't know why people, you know what I'm saying? We got to talk about this, like, especially like black people. Can we talk about for a second, like, why do black people pride themselves on, like, the struggle? Like, and I swear I went through this, like, with relatives and friends and stuff like that. Like, they do this thing where it's like they'll say something like, oh, you don't know what struggle is. You know what I'm saying? I had to eat hot dogs and beans out the can. You don't know nothing. Like, why are we competing to see who struggled more? You get what I'm saying? Like, it was always weird to me. And I used to do it when I was younger. And, like, I always wanted to show that I struggled more. But I got to a place in life where it's like, I don't want to do that no more. Like, and then some people be like, oh, well, you think you're bougie, you think you're better. No, I don't think I'm better. I want to be better than me every single day. I'm not competing with nobody else. Every single day, I want to be better than I was yesterday. I'm not about to sit here with you and do a struggle war. I'm not about to sit here with you and take pride on the fact that, you get what I'm saying, I was in the hood, you was in the hood, who was in the hood? No, I'm not. That's not the life. When you get out and you travel and you see things in the world, you realize that there is so much more to life than what was put in front of you. You understand what I'm saying? And you should never allow the circumstances that you went through in your childhood or whatever the case may be to, like, justify why you stayed here. Like, oh, no, this is where I was born and raised. Okay, that's cool that you was born and raised there. You understand what I'm saying? But I saw a fucking flamingo for the first time in real life. Like, they're very pretty birds. Like the first time I saw a flamingo, you should have saw the way that lady was looking at me. She was looking at me like it was something wrong with me. Like, why are you so impressed by this flamingo? I'm like, yo, I never saw nothing like that before. I'm so used to pigeons and crackheads asking you for a nickel. So it kind of caught me off guard. Nonetheless, going back to the story time, I arrive at the second location. I called the police again. Mind you, I already called the police for the first location hours ago. They never showed up. So I called the police again. I expressed another sense of urgency, like letting them know, like, yo, this was my car. It was stolen. It was taken from location 1. It's now at location 2. At this point, I don't want to interfere because I'm in a state where they don't believe in stand your ground. I'm in a state where they're not big on gun laws. So what do I do against a person that has already demonstrated that they don't mind taking my car off of the street? You think I'm going to be able to walk up to this person and have a conversation? I mean, we're having a real life conversation. Like, I'm being a real one right now. Like, I'm having a real conversation where I'm asking you guys, do you think if I walked up to the person that already demonstrated that they don't mind pulling a $50,000 car off the street, you think they're going to willingly give it back? You think they're going to want to have a conversation? You think we're going to be able to negotiate? This is somebody that's already escalated, and I'm sure they do whatever that they need to do to keep that car. I don't think they would just give that car. And me personally, I'm a businessman. I'm not about to get into no street altercations with nobody. I'm letting you know that now. I'm not interested in it. I'm not fighting nobody with 3 teeth in their mouth. I'm not fighting nobody that don't got nothing to lose, because the only person that will steal a car off the street is somebody that don't got nothing to lose. I have shit to do. You understand what I'm saying? My mama told me I'm handsome. I like to stay handsome. I don't want no scratches on my face. I'm not about to go back and forth with you. You know, I'm on my father's health insurance. I don't even know if I'm still on his health insurance and shit. So for me personally, it's better for me not to get involved in those street altercations. And, you know, it's not for the reasons that you think. It's more so for the reasons of the only thing that would be running through my head is, am I still on the health insurance policy? So I'm not interested in that. Okay, so cool, right? So I see the car and it's back covered in the tarp, but it's in this apartment building like parking lot, and it's in a parking spot. It's covered back up with the tarp. And at this point, I'm still waiting for the officers to come. This time, I decided that I was not taking my fucking eyes off this car. I'm so sorry if you don't like me cursing, but I feel like in this situation, the curse word is gonna seal the deal. I was not taking my fucking eyes off of this car. Like, it was nothing that was gonna help me take my eyes off this car. Okay, cool. So I'm parked in a position where technically the car could get out. You understand what I'm saying? But you need a little bit more turn radius than that car was able to provide. So I was in a position where I was directly in front of the car. I'm waiting for the officers to come. The officers arrive on scene. Wait, I gotta make sure I'm staying with the plot because I took a little notes. Okay, the officers arrive on scene, and the officer interaction was so crazy because it was like, he was like, "That's the car." He was like, "You found the car?" He was so impressed that I found the car. I was like, "What do you mean?" "Yeah, I got a tracking device on the car." So, excuse me. He was like, "Hold on, let me fix my chair." So he was like, "I just can't believe you found the car." He's like, "Normally in these situations, you don't find the car." Like, he was like, "And if you do find the car, it's normally in a police chase where the car was totaled. Like, you found the car." He was so excited to take the wrap off the car. Like, it was like a smirk on his face. He was like, "Oh my God." He was pulling that shit, tugging on it. And he was like, "Yo, that's the car. It's a car." And he walked around. He's like, "Did they damage anything?" I looked, I was like, "Well, he broke the window." I was so mad because, you know, this is the education level of a car thief. The Dodge Chargers have 2 windows in the back, right? You got the window that rolls down, but then you got the little tiny window where the lock is. So this would be the lock, and then you got that little tiny window. If I'm a car thief, right, I don't understand. Like, why didn't they break the little window, pull the lock up, and open the door? Why would you break the window that's right by you in negative degree weather? So you mean to tell me you stole the car? What's the plan? You was going to drive with the back window broken? I don't understand the mindset. If you steal cars for a living, you don't got to out yourself. Just answer these questions. Like, personally, I would drop the charges on the person that stole my car if I'm able to sit down and interview them on my podcast. Like, I really want to understand what's their thought process and where they come from. Because I legitimately, like, I was looking at that, like, you got to be the most uneducated person. Like legitimately, you must read the directions on the shampoo bottle before you wash your hair. Like they must have really put that on the shampoo bottle so that you could sit down and read it before you wash your hair. Like, I just genuinely didn't understand it. Okay, nonetheless, he pulls the tarp off the car. Officer 1 is so flabbergasted by the fact that the vehicle's even there. I don't know. I think he went on Snapchat. Like, I just legitimately, he was so flabbergasted. Officer 2 is kind of talking. He's taking the report. He's a little bit more serious and whatnot. He's like, "Okay, cool. Like, you know, take the report." So my whole thing was the car was parked in an apartment building complex. So I'm like, "Are you guys not going to go inside the apartment building and like arrest the person that took the car?" I don't know. I look at it as broken windows, right? You guys know I want to go in law enforcement. So if you allow a person to steal a car, do you know what the signal is? Like, if a person feels comfortable enough to steal a car, what else are they going to feel comfortable to do? Like, you basically told this person that they could steal this car. And now, mind you, there's balconies on the apartment building, and then there's people that's looking out. One of these people, I'm thinking they had to steal the car. They're literally watching us get the car, and now they feel comfortable enough to know that the officers, they're not going to do anything. So what they're going to do, they're going to go steal another car. I just didn't like it because as somebody that works hard for their property, and I don't care what nobody says, they was in my comments on Instagram trying to say, oh, you a snitch, da da da. Yeah, because I work hard for my property. And the only person that would say something like that is someone that I guess you lived your entire life either having everything handed to you or you stole everything. When you work hard for something, when you put blood, sweat, and tears into something, you feel some type of way when somebody thinks they're just gonna walk up and take it from you. Like all jokes aside, now mind y'all, the car itself was a joint venture. I'm gonna tell y'all about joint ventures later, but it's still something that I'm responsible for. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's a car that's in my command. It's a car that's under my control, and technically, contractually, it is my car. I'm 100% responsible for that car while it's in my control. So nonetheless, the officers basically said that they weren't going in there and that I should basically be grateful that I found the car. And then they pointed to the car that was directly next to mine. They was like, you see that car? It's probably stolen too. I was like, how you know it's stolen? He's like, because the back window's busted. He's like, that's how we typically identify these type of cars when they're stolen. He's like, we'll be parked on the side and that'll help us initiate a traffic stop because we'll see the back windows broken on an expensive car like a Dodge Charger, a Dodge Hellcat, a Durango, a BMW. Why is the back window broken on that car? Because they broke the window to steal the car. And I was like, so you knowing this as an officer, you don't want to run that license plate and see if it's stolen? I don't know. It's like that car could have belonged to a single mother who had to file an insurance claim, and now she doesn't have a car to get to work. And you're standing in front of me as a police officer saying that you think that car is stolen and you're not going to run the tags. I don't know. See, Philadelphia operates a little bit differently. That's why when I was interacting with these officers, I had to question the legitimacy of the police for one, and then I also was questioning like, is this place worse than the Bronx? Because I've never in my life, like, how are you as an officer looking at me? You're saying that you think the car is stolen. I'm not asking you to violate nobody's rights, but why don't you just run that tag? You know how many times I've been pulled over by the police and never given a ticket? You know how many times they ran my tags and pulled me over? You know what I'm saying? I've been pulled over like 14 times by the police, only given a ticket twice. DWBs. They run my tags, run them fucking tags, get the actual criminals that's being criminals, get them in trouble. Okay, so cool, right? Nonetheless, the officers did their report. They gave me the paperwork. So I went ahead. I told Gary, just go ahead and call the locksmith. Let's get keys made. Let's get up out of here. I'm kind of over the situation. I've been down here for hours and hours and hours. And Gary called the locksmith. So what do you think I asked the officers to do in the midst of me waiting for the locksmith? Well, I'm going to tell you what I did. I asked them if they could please be police officers. Since you don't want to be reactive police officers and investigate the criminals, do you think you could do me the bare minimum of sitting here and waiting for the locksmith? So I'm not going to lie. The supervisor that came, he was pretty helpful. He did say, you know what, listen, I'll stay for like 10, 15 minutes. And I was like, thank you. Because, that's really helpful because the locksmith said he'd be leaving in 10 to 15 minutes. So you're basically going to sit here until he's on his way. And then it'll take him another 20 minutes. My whole thing is I don't feel like dealing with no escalation situation. I just don't want the guy to come out the apartment building when the locksmith is making the keys and whatnot because I'm not going to be able to help him. You understand what I'm saying? If the locksmith is making the key and somebody comes out and start asking, I'm not going to be able to help him. He's going to be on his own. He's going to have to call 911 and wait 3 hours like I did. I'm not no superhero. I'm not no Captain Save-A-Ho. I run a car rental company and that's all I'm going to do. That's not going to be between me and that's going to be between the locksmith and whoever comes outside and start asking him questions. If y'all don't want to be the police, I'm not going to be the police. I don't have no badge. I'm not with none of that. I'm here for the car and I want to go back home. I even told the officer, I was like, listen, I'm not from here. I would like to go back home. I never wanted to go home so bad. I would like to go back home. Okay, cool. Officer wasted his 10 to 15 minutes and then he leaves. The officer leaves and now at this point, the anxiety starts to kick in for me. There are certain details about this story that I will not be telling you guys because I will not be incriminating myself. But let's just say hypothetically speaking, I did want to make sure that, I was protected. So I did, I made sure to make sure that, you know what I'm saying? I had something to at least protect myself. Nonetheless, I'm sitting there anxiously waiting on the police. And as I'm waiting for the police to come, I'm sorry, not the police, the locksmith. As I'm waiting for the locksmith to come, he finally pulls up in his little van or whatever the case may be. So he started getting into the car. He started trying to make the key, whatnot. He gave us the price. He gave us a pretty reasonable price. He was like $300 and something. I was expecting him to say $700. He said $300 and something. Okay, cool. All in all, it took him some time, but he programmed the keys. So here he comes up to me and he's like basically saying, I programmed the keys, but the car won't start. And that basically he was trying to imply like he still needs to be paid for installing the keys, but the car won't start. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, personally, in my experience, I've dealt with a locksmith more times than I've had sneaky links before. I'm going to be 100% honest. I've met more locksmiths than sneaky links. It's kind of crazy. And in my experience of locksmiths, I have been BS'd by them. I have been put in situations where they gave me a key and it worked for one day, it didn't work the next day. So when he came up to me, he was like, I programmed this key, I need to be paid, but it doesn't start the car. I was like, well, then you didn't do the job that I hired you for. I didn't just want you to make a key, you know. Gary could have went over there and said that the key works and did some shit. I need the car to start. I got to get out of here, sir. I'm not from Philadelphia. So now at this point, before I had got into it with him, I was already stressed out because I was going back and forth with Gary over the tow truck. And it was like critical thinking skills, and it felt like, let me correct myself, it felt like in that moment, critical thinking skills and a thought process just did not exist with Gary. Like, I appreciated him for going with me, like I said, but it just felt like he didn't have the critical thinking skills or none of that. Like, so he was calling the tow trucks, right? So I was like, where's the tow truck? And he's like, oh, well, I'm waiting for them to call me back. Who you waiting for? Who to call you back? He's like, I called one. I was like, well, you don't want to call like 3, 4 of them? Like, I don't understand. But mind you, before that happened, we went through the same thing with the locksmith. I was like, did you call the locksmith? He's like, yeah, I'm waiting for them to call me back. Okay, but call another one. Like, why are we're in Philadelphia right now. We're in a situation where I don't want to be. I want to go home. We've been here for hours. Why are you relying on a man to call you back? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I was like, Gary, what pissed me off more was like, I already told you what my father put me through. You understand what I'm saying? He told me he was coming to pick me up for Christmas when I was a little kid. I sat by the Christmas tree all night. He never came to pick me up. So therefore, I've already explained to you that I got trust issues. You think I'm about to trust a man to show up in Philadelphia? If my own father didn't show up to pick me up for Christmas of all days, why do you think this man is going to call you back? I'm like, I don't understand. I understand you didn't go through what I went through in my childhood, but I tell people what I've been through in my childhood to help them, to motivate them, but also to help them understand certain shit that doesn't fly. You don't rely on nobody to call you back. Why would somebody call you back? I don't understand. Like, why don't you call more people? You understand what I'm saying? I'm like, Gary, I had to ask. I'm like, Gary, you never had hoes before? He looked at me. He's like, what do you mean? Have you ever had hoes? You understand? You know, when you have one hoe, and I don't mean to call them the hoe, but you get what I'm trying to say. What do you call it? A roster. You don't know what a roster is, Gary? When one person don't act right, you call the next one. If that one don't act right, you call the next one. Maybe one day you might be in the mood for this, so you call that one. Maybe one day you be in the mood. It's called a roster. You know, you keep multiple on deck in case one don't work. Why would you call one locksmith and have us sitting here in the middle of Philadelphia where the police don't show up and you got to call them 17 times? It doesn't make sense. Is it logical to you? Let's use critical thinking skills. Let's use critical thinking skills. Call another one. He gets an attitude with me. He's like, well, you're sitting there doing nothing. I'm doing nothing. I'm doing nothing. I'm running the entire operation right now. Like,
they want to charge first before they send somebody out. Is that
no,
okay with you?
No.
Okay, I'm not gonna do that then. I don't want to charge my card if y'all don't come.
I'm not giving my credit card number to somebody over the phone in Philadelphia and hoping they show up.
Okay, I understand your procedures, but it just doesn't seem safe for me to pay now and then wait for a tow truck driver. I'd rather the tow truck driver come here and then pay and then he takes the car.
Let me talk to her. You didn't do anything wrong. I'm so confused.
This is because
Hello?
especially at this hour. Yeah, hello.
Hi, can I speak to somebody at the towing company?
Yes, sir. You're speaking to someone who's the towing company right now.
See, because you sound like you're overseas. Like, I can't give you my credit card number. This is Philadelphia. I just witnessed somebody try to steal my car. Is that a cop? I just witnessed somebody try to steal my car. I'm not going to give my credit card number to somebody on the phone.
I completely understand that wanting to feel uncomfortable with the payment. We actually don't charge the card up front. We will just place a temporary authorization. If you want, I can send you a payment link for it. You can just, you'll be the one.
Talk to the crazy lady.
So no, right?
Talk to the crazy lady. No, I'm not giving her my credit card number. That's crazy. Ooh. He just left. That's crazy. I called.
Yeah.
The guy pulled up in the Durango.
Where's he at?
They just pulled off as soon as y'all pulled in.
They took the car?
No, the car is right there. They couldn't get it to start. I got a kill switch on it.
Oh, okay. Which way they go?
They went right. He wrote down their plate number. What's their plate number? Come here. You might, and this is what's crazy about owning a business. People think we sit on our hands, we don't do nothing, we're just playing games all day. I am really in control of everything right now. Every decision that gets made right now, it will affect me. It will affect you. I have to think about my safety. I have to think about your safety. I have to think about the safety of the car. I have to think about the safety of the locksmith. I have to think about the process of filing this the correct way with the police report, with the insurance claim. How am I going to get the car out of here? Who's paying for this? How am I paying for that? I'm doing everything right now. You're just in the passenger seat. Mind you, my car gets back massages. You're sitting in the passenger seat getting a back massage, sipping on water with dual zone climate control, and you're going to look at me and tell me I'm doing nothing and the least you could do is make a phone call? It was very triggering, nonetheless. Okay, cool, right? So locksmith does what he does. And then at that point, I had to call my mentor because I was low-key confused. I was like, I don't understand, if you programmed the key, why would it not start?
With the key, I can like take all of the responsibility about it, and I can like come and reprogram it back, but there's no way. Full my experience and everything, like I'm for sure it's nothing wrong with the keys here. Nothing wrong with the immobilizer computer. It's something wrong with the starter, I think.
Rigo, what's up?
What's up?
It's Malcolm.
If you have anybody, mechanic or something, you can ask them, and
I need your help right now. I'm
they're
in a
gonna
situation.
like prove what I said.
So the charger, they stole the charger last night in Philly. They broke the window, they reprogrammed another key and took the car. So I found the car. I had a guy come out and make a key. The key is unlocking the door, but the car will not start. So I'm telling the guy, I don't want the keys. I'm not gonna pay you. The car doesn't start. How do I know? He's saying it has nothing to do with him. I'm telling him I don't want it. It doesn't start. So do you think maybe it's something wrong with the car itself? It doesn't have anything to do with him?
Both are programmed.
The thing is, does it open the cluster there?
Does it what?
Does it open the,
It opens the car, yeah.
It opens the car?
Yeah.
No, but does it open the, like the air condition come off and everything?
No.
And I didn't mean the air condition, like the cluster there, the radio, everything opens up?
No, it's not doing none of that. All it's doing is unlocking and locking the door.
So it doesn't recognize the key inside?
Tell them like car recognize the key because it
Yeah,
goes on.
he says it recognizes the key, but it's just not starting.
And when you started it, I mean...
Everybody was attacking me in the comments because it's like, oh, that's messed up, Malcolm. You got to pay the guy. Because I was saying out loud, I was like, I'm not paying him if that car doesn't start. He could take the keys and go back home. I had pizza in the car. We had ordered Papa John's and shit. He could take a slice of pizza and hit the road. Talking about his time. Well, take a slice of pizza. I paid like $25 for this pizza. You understand what I'm saying? Get you 2 slices. Take a third one for the wife and hit the road. Then if you're telling me you were unable to do the job, I don't understand. That's like if I have a job and I'm able to do 25% of the job. I don't understand. What you think I'm about to pay you for it? I wouldn't expect to get paid. So I called my mechanic, my mentor, in all fairness, because my mentor knows about this stuff, and I needed a professional opinion. We put him on WhatsApp.
Turn on like FaceTime to show you what's happening here in fuse box. Okay, hey, that's fuse box. Everything looks normal here. But I don't know if it's like missing any fuse or something.
I think it's missing something there.
Yeah.
I don't think the fuse box is so empty like that.
I really don't know. But I don't know what is this sound. You heard that? It's coming from engine.
Yeah, those are the injectors.
Okay.
But the ignition is all open.
Look, I'm gonna show you something. Look, I want to show you that. Okay. Okay. First of all, here is the fobs. Oh, it's right here. Okay, look. This is the fobs. When I came here, like the car fob did not work. Nothing happened. But now everything like that. Look. I'm gonna show you. Okay, then he's not in. Okay.
I know nothing about any of this stuff. Just so you guys know, I don't know anything. But my thing is that the guy that stole the car, he's been driving it. So why wouldn't it start for me if it started for him? That's my whole thing. Y'all saying it's missing stuff, but I don't know about this stuff. And basically, he tried to help the guy figure out how to get the car started. And he kind of explained it to me. He's like, Malcolm, it may not be his fault. They may have damaged the computer within the car, and that could be why the car may not start. There could be an immobilizer. They could have put their own tracking device. Like, it could be 100 reasons why that car is not starting. But if he programmed the key, it's locking, it's unlocking the door, he most likely did do his job. But from my defense, I had so many bad experiences with mechanics. I know nothing about those immobile. Like, I don't know about these cars. I don't understand how a person could steal a car. Like, when they told me how easy it is to steal a Dodge Charger, I real life don't understand. Like, why is that? I don't understand. Like, why hasn't the manufacturer made it where it's not that easy to steal a Dodge Charger? Like, it's too easy to me to steal a Dodge Charger. So, nonetheless, my mechanic was talking to him. They weren't able to really get anywhere. We wasn't able to get the car started. So I really did appreciate that the locksmith stayed out there with me for as long as he did. Like, it was freezing cold. He was out there. He was trying to get the car to start. He went above and beyond. He had good customer service. I was like, I got to pay the man. But to protect myself, I wasn't paying him in cash. I put it on a debit card. So I was like, if for whatever reason they fix this car and this key don't work, I will be disputing that transaction. No questions asked. So I was like, I'm going to put it on a debit card, but I'm going to pay him the full amount. So I paid them the full amount, and then he left. This is where the story took a turn for the worse. This is where the story took a turn for the absolute worst. This is where, at this point now, the pizza was nasty. The officers left. The guy couldn't get the car to start. I'm not gonna lie, I started feeling some type of way. Like, I was getting a little irritated. I was tired of being here. Gary is worse than me. So if I'm tired of being here, he's extremely tired of being here. He's getting an attitude. He's starting to say little slick shit out his mouth. I'm starting to get tired of sitting in the car. It's freezing cold outside. So at this point, I'm a little irritable, right? I'm sitting there, and as I was just kind of entertaining my live, Gary kept like looking up, like y'all couldn't see it if he was in the live. He kept like going like this, like, and I'm like, it was getting annoying because like, why does he keep doing that? Like, we're in a serious situation. Don't be doing that if there's no reason to be doing that. And I basically told him that he was crazy because he kept staring at this car that kept coming by and whatnot. And I was like, Gary, you just like, you need to chill out. Like, you being a little extra and stuff like that. Nonetheless, he was not being extra. This car pulls up and blocks me in, right? I'm sitting in my car. This car pulls up and they block me in. But they wasn't trying to block me in. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time because I parked myself in a position where I was basically like, I was in this parking lot and that was the only way out. So they just happened to back in, and I was just sitting there in my car. And then they got out, and then a guy got out, like I told the officers, like a male, black, 5'11", 190 pounds, whatever the case may be. No ski mask on or nothing, just, dressed regularly. Like, he didn't have on no clothes that made it look like he was there to steal a car, nothing like that. So in my mind, I was like, that's probably his parking spot. We're in an apartment complex. He probably is wondering why the car is there. So it looked like he took his phone out. He took a picture of it on all four sides. And then it looked like he called somebody. So then Gary's like, Malcolm. But y'all know Gary don't like to talk when I'm on live. So he likes to like make little shrubs and stuff like that. So I'm looking like, Gary, shut up. Leave that man alone. It's his parking spot. So nonetheless, I'm looking at the tags on the Durango in front of me. And the tags, low-key, they looked like fictitious. Like, they didn't look like real license plates. And for some reason, I could not make out the tag. So I'm thinking like, it's kind of dark outside. Maybe I can't see, whatever the case may be. But I kind of like look at Gary. I'm like, can you make out that tag? He couldn't make out the tag. And he got better vision than me. So I'm like, you can't make out the tag. I can't. Yo, that's weird. The Durango was all tinted out. It was multiple people in it. I could tell because like one had got out. It was another one in the driver's seat. You got the other one over here. And now at this point, the guy's taking pictures of the car. I'm like, he's just taking pictures. He wants to know why the car's in his spot. Remember I told y'all they broke the back window? Out of nowhere. In a matter of 5 seconds. Do y'all remember that video of that guy that was in court and the judge sentenced him? And he dived over the bench onto her? Do y'all remember that? Yeah, y'all make sure y'all put comments on this video, for real. Do y'all remember when that guy dived over and he like attacked that judge? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Yes or no? Put something in the comments. It was crazy. If y'all didn't see it, look it up on TikTok. When I tell you, this man went from like this taking pictures to straight up slumped over, pause, and dived through the back window of the car. Yo, I could have died. I never saw nothing like that before me. He dived into the back of the car, climbed in the driver's seat in no time. All you saw was the brake lights come on the car. Now, mind you, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And then Gary was like, see, I told you. See, I told you. See, and I'm like in my head, like, Gary, shut up. Like, this is not the time or the place. Like, low key, sometimes I be feeling like the maturity level between me and Gary be throwing me off. Cause it's like, that's not like, this is not the time or place. We in a serious situation right now. You stressing me out. Like, I'm trying to process what's going on so I can react accordingly. In my mind, I'm like, do I step out the car and do I stop him? But it was an extremely overwhelming situation because it's like, for one, you can't use deadly force to defend property. If I step out and I go up to this guy, do you think he's just going to say, oh, you're the owner of the car, I apologize, you could go? No, that's going to turn into a situation. Do you really think I'm going to walk up to this man, he's going to get out the car? Mind you, I don't even know how many people is in this Durango in front of me. Like, I've already identified it's at least 2 people in this Durango, 1 over here. I'm already outnumbered. You understand? It's like 3 on 1 because Gary is not going to do shit. Okay, I'm going to let you know now. He's going to put the chair back. If opportunity presents itself, he's going to be gone, you know? It's 3 on 1 already. What do you do in this situation? Police don't show up when you call them. If I lose this car right now, this is a serious risk for me because at this point, how do I know if I'm going to get this car back? The car has no damages minus the window being broken. Do I really want to risk this guy being able to start this car, pulling off, and then it was no way, like I said, he would have to really like know how to maneuver to get out that parking spot? Do I really want to risk him hitting my car now with my other car, pulling off, getting away, and then I never get this car back again? You understand what I'm saying? So this is a very, like, for me, this is a serious situation. Like, it's too much liability in every avenue. And I'm going to tell you something about use of force. Most states that are not stand your ground, they believe in 5 elements must be present for you to use deadly force to protect yourself. But then on top of that, they don't even allow you to use deadly force to protect property. It's against the law. So if, hypothetically speaking, if I'm legally carrying a firearm and I go up to this guy and I tell him to get out of my car, he gives me pushback, I pull my firearm, I instruct him to get out the car again or whatever case may be, or I try to stop him and something escalates, even if he pulls out a firearm and he shoots at me first and I shoot back at him, you understand what's going to happen? I'm going to go to jail and he's going to go to jail. We both go to jail. Why? Because you can't defend property with deadly force. You can't. And in that situation, they're going to say I was the agitator because I walked up to him when I could have walked away. It's crazy laws, but it's important that you understand this, especially if you're going to be carrying. So to my business owners that carry firearms legally, whatever the case may be, don't just look at it as you just need the license, because I'm telling you, that stuff is rigged against us. It's literally rigged against us because in a situation where the police is not showing up, this person is in my car. I'm not saying he needed to lose his life. I'm just saying I should have been able to defend my property. That's just how I get it. I know a lot of people be against the whole guns and stuff like that, but in a situation where my car has been stolen, it's now about to get restolen again in front of my face. I've done called police 17,000 times. It felt like trying to call my ex to have a conversation. You can't get this motherfucker on the phone. You mean to tell me I can't stop this person myself? You understand what I'm saying? And not to say that I was just going to get out and want to go pew, pew, pew. I was going to want to have a conversation like, hey, can you get out my car? But I can tell you, a person that's that motivated to steal a car, they're not going to be motivated to just give it back. They're not going to just give it back and walk off. You know, people got pride and egos. So nonetheless, I did call 911 again. I called 911 and this is when I got on the phone with them and everybody had their opinions about, you know, you had 50% of the people saying, oh, Malcolm, you should have articulated it better. Why was you being argumentative with the 911 dispatcher? And then I had other people that was on my side. First of all, to defend myself first and foremost, in a situation like that, I understand that the 911 operator's job is to get as much information so that the responding officers know what they're walking into for their safety. I recognize that. I want to go into law enforcement. I understand that process. But in my situation, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little shook. I wasn't shook by the situation. It was really throwing me off how calmly this guy was about to steal this car. Like, he wasn't shaking. He didn't have on a ski mask. It threw me. It really caught me off guard. And then I got Gary with me. It was throwing my nerves off a little bit more because he's panicking. He's going crazy. And on top of this, I'm just thinking about all of this liability. Like the car itself, me, my car. It was just too much all happening at once. So I do think that I articulated myself the best way possible. I do feel like I could have done better, obviously. But for a 911 operator to hang up the phone is absolutely crazy. Like, legitimately, there's no way around that. I'm sorry. There's no way you could justify for me 911 operator hanging up the phone. Listen to the tape. Was I being disrespectful? No, I was just telling him, like, listen, I gave you as much information. I'm articulating myself. I gave you my location. I told you what's going on. I let you know that my car is here. I let you know that they came in another car, that they're trying to take my car right now. What other information do you need? I described the person. I gave you height. You know what I'm saying? I described him with his height. And that's like, I don't understand why you want to sit here. And then what really made me upset was that the 911 operator was getting information mixed up, right? He was getting a lot of information mixed up. He was like, wait, So is it your car? Like, sir, if you can't keep up, then you need to get off of the phone. That's how I was feeling. I was like, yo, if you can't keep up with what the fuck I'm saying, put somebody else on the phone, because I'm talking fast. I understand that, but I've already regurgitated this information to you. To me, as a 911 operator, you should be able to listen. You need listening skills. You know, it's like you need to hear me when I'm telling you. I already told you, there's a person here. They're still in a car. My car is the white Dodge Charger. They came in the Dodge Durango. If you can't get that storyline together, let the officers figure it out when they get here. That was the energy that I had with him. I was like, then let them figure it out when they get here. Let them get here, sort this out. They can ask all them questions later. But then again, I did understand his perspective, but hanging up the phone was crazy. So that was that. So now we're at the point where the thieves are still in the car, right? We're still at the point where the thieves are still in the car. I kill switched it. I forgot. I was like, oh shit, I got to kill switched it. After I kill switched the car, the guy got out, right? I thought he was just gonna leave. Do you know he opened the hood like it was his car? Opened the hood of the car. I mean, he's just standing there like, why is the car not starting? He couldn't figure out why the car wasn't starting. I kill switched it. So he kind of like gave up, but it didn't feel like he officially gave up. It just kind of felt like he temporarily gave up. Like, I'm gonna run to the store. I'm gonna go get something to smoke. I'm gonna go get me a empanada. I'm gonna go get me a CNC soda, and I'm gonna come back. And I'm like, that was the energy. Like, he get me. Like, he walked off. Like, you know what? I'll be right back. I'm gonna figure this out. Got in the Durango, pulled off. The second the Durango was out of my sight, here comes the officers pulling up. So now they sent 2 different officers. They came out, you know, hands on the guns and whatnot. They was ready to go to work, but they was ready to go to work on me.
Do you get the tag of it?
Yeah, he got the tags.
Did they break anything?
No, your sergeant was out here earlier. They stole this car. They parked it here. We can't get the car to start. I had a locksmith come, so I've been waiting for a tow truck. But I guess after the cop left, they thought it was over. They came back, guy hopped in, they tried to take the car again. But I guess they didn't know we're sitting right there waiting for a tow truck. Can you guys tow it? Huh?
No damage.
The back window's busted.
It was already broken.
They broke that earlier today. They didn't do that just now.
You don't have like AAA?
We've been trying. Nobody can come take this car. They don't have. They said the thing is too low on the bottom. Can you tow it?
Let me see, because it's not blocking anything. It's in a private lot. It's not like.
Well, you got a tow company I can use. I called everybody to come get this car.
I mean, I can use somebody.
Looking at them like, yo, y'all be wondering why I be wearing NYPD shirts and shit. It be for situations like that. When the officers pull up, I be wanting them to know I'm a friendly. You understand what I'm saying? One thing I will never allow myself to do is be mistaken for the criminal. Y'all be walking around with shiesty masks on and hoodies and stuff like that, and then y'all be wondering why y'all get mistaken for something else. Y'all want to say the cop was racially profiling you. I'm gonna tell y'all transparently, the way some of y'all dress, if I was an officer and I pulled up, I would think you the criminal. You know, it'd be 80 degrees and you walking around with a mask on your face. Why? Talking about you got ops. How you got ops? You got priority issues. I don't understand. It'd be like 84 degrees. You walking in the Bronx, and then they got the one that got the little furry stuff on it. And when a fully grown man, 34 years old with a furry mask on. You know what I'm saying? Fully grown man, furry mask on. Louis Vuitton. I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. To me, it's diabolical. It's crazy. And I just can't understand the purpose of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ask myself, like, maybe they think they're ugly. I don't understand. You know, like maybe they had bad hair day or something. Like, why would a person in 80-degree weather be wanting to put on a? Nonetheless, staying focused on the story. That's why I be wearing the NYPD shirts most of the time, because it's like the way the officer ran up to me, like he ran up to me like I was the car thief. Like, wait a minute. I called you. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let's slow this down. I know I told the dispatcher to figure this shit out when he get here, but wait a minute. We don't want no mistakes out here. I'm letting y'all know. You know, I'm not the criminal. Okay. You know, I'm one of y'all. I'm on y'all side. Okay, cool, right? So that's done with. The officers are there. They basically just took another report from me, and then they was basically like, if the guy comes back, just call us and we'll come back. What do you mean call y'all if he come back? If he come back, I don't think he's gonna leave without the car the next time, you know? And I can't take this. My nerves is all over the place. Like I told the officer, I'm like, can you tow the car? He's like, You know, it's like he went down a checklist in his head. He was like, well, you know, well, the car, it's parked in private property, it's not blocking a road. No, we can't tow the car. Wait, officer, why can't y'all call a tow truck? Because if the police calls a tow, they'll come a lot faster than my tow. Mind you, I already had a tow truck come and just basically say he couldn't do it. Whatever. He didn't speak no English. He was basically like, oh yeah, yo no sé nada. You know, yo me voy. Yo me voy. Yo me voy. Necesitamos, you know, ayúdame aquí para mi carro. Like, what do you mean, yo me voy? And he was talking that his Spanish was too fast for me to understand. I got to get a translator on the phone. I got a translator on the phone. She was all trying to talk to me. Hi, Malcolm, how you been? Listen, we got to skip all the pleasantries. Can you translate for me? Tell this man in front of me to hook this car up, and I don't care where. He could take this shit to hell and back. I just can't leave it here. He told the man, basically the man was like, his tow truck wasn't capable of getting it out. He didn't feel like it, whatever the case may be. Somebody else was going to come back tomorrow morning. And I was like trying to tell him, you can't leave this car. Like, the car can't wait till tomorrow morning. It's like, it's a stolen car. Like, they're going to come back and steal. He was like, oh my God, stolen car. And then I heard him. I understood. He said something called La Policía. You let me No. Policía was already aquí, papi. I need you to sácalo mi carro. Take it to hell and back. I don't care. Just, you can't leave it here. So, nonetheless, he left. The officers, they took their report, whatever the case may be. They left. Now I'm alone again with Gary, sitting here with this car. Any car that came up the street was making me uncomfortable. Everything looked like a Durango to me. Every single car looked like a Durango. And then this is when me and Gary kind of got into it, because he was like, after all of that, he was like, why are you sitting here? Why can't you just leave the car? It's not that big of a deal. Da 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 da. And I'm not gonna lie, he triggered me. And I was happy that I was on live, because it kind of like helped me control myself to kind of like not get into an argument with him or a back and forth. But I did kind of say my piece. And that's kind of where I want to transition this video, because I realized how important it was for me to speak on that and to kind of let that out. So if I get emotional when I talk about this, just y'all bear with me, because I was getting emotional as I was trying to like prepare the speech to tell y'all this. And it was just kind of crazy for me, because when he said that, it triggered swim or drown for me, right? My entire life, for those of you that have never seen me before, when I started this business from the ground up, from scratch. I didn't have anything. So for me, it was always swim or drown. And it took me back to the time that my mother called the police on me and she tried to have me arrested. And this was before I owned a car rental business. This was back when I was working at McDonald's. And I had to tell the story on live. And I wanted to tell you guys this story time real quick too, because when he said that to me and I responded to him, I was like, this is swim or drown for me. It took me back to when I first taught myself swim or drown. I had to teach myself swim or drown so that I could be able to survive situations that I might not want to be in. And the first time I could really remember being in a situation that I really didn't want to be in was the time my mother called the police on me while I was at work and tried to have me arrested over a car. It was crazy. So what had happened was, basically, I was a 17-year-old kid. I finally got my license. I was ready to drive and I wanted a car, right? So my mother, she offered to help me out. She's like, she helped me find a car, whatever the case may be. It was a 2007 Nissan Maxima. I told them on live it was a 2010, but I went and I found the registration from the car. It was a 2007. It was a Nissan Maxima. It was fully loaded. I was so happy with my mother. I was so excited, and she got me a good deal, whatever the case may be. The monthly payment was like $175, but the insurance was like, I think the insurance was like $300. So it was a little bit out of my budget, because mind you, I was a full-time employee, but I was full-time working. I was full-time going to school. I was full-time working, and I was full-time going to school. So it was a little rough for me, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make it happen. You feel what I'm saying? I had just gotten into a relationship. I got a new car. I was feeling like I was so lit. But when we went to finish the paperwork for the car, when the guy was putting the paperwork in front of my mother and she was doing it, I had the pen in my hand. Like, I was ready to sign, but he was putting all the paperwork in front of her. So I was like sitting here. I didn't want to say nothing because, I got a black mama. They don't really like you to ask them questions. And, you know how they get. It's disrespectful to ask questions in a black household. You really can't ask much. And I was kind of happy that she was getting me the car. And I used to have the type of mother where it was like she would change her mind if you upset her. So it was like, don't upset her. Just let her do it. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all got a mother like that where it's like, if she's finally doing what you want her to do, you just better sit there, be quiet, and be grateful. That's how I was taught. So I was like sitting there, I was being quiet. I was so happy. I went outside. I was on Snapchat taking pictures of my car. You know how we used to do back in the day? We go to the steering wheel and put our handles on the wheel. We take a picture of it. I was so excited. I was trying to connect my phone to the car and stuff like that. So then he gave me the temporary registration and stuff to the car. And I was like, wait. I was like, Mom, he made a mistake. She was like, Malcolm, what's wrong? And I could tell she had one of them attitudes where she was ready to go. Yo, when my mother be ready to go, she's ready to go. So I was like trying to hurry up, but I was like, Mom, my name is not on it. She was like, boy, just put the stuff in the car and just drive the car. Da, da, da. You finally got the car. And it was like, but in my head, I was like, but like, Ma, how come my name is not like on the registration stuff? Like, I was like, what if I get pulled over or whatever? And in my head, I was kind of questioning like the ownership of the car because it was my car. So why didn't my name come up on nothing? But mind you, I didn't know shit about financing cars. I didn't know how it worked. So then her response to me was like, she was like, Malcolm, it's temporary paperwork. Do you not see that it says temporary registration? When the real stuff comes, your name will be on it. So just leave it alone. Do you want the car or not? So I could tell she was getting heated. So I was like, okay, Ma, it's cool. I was like, Ma, I love you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, with me telling y'all this story, I want to point out something. My mother did the best for me. I never went without. I never went hungry. I never was out there. She did everything that she could for me. Anytime that I reflect on anything of my childhood, I'm more so tied to my father than her. If I want to talk about somebody being neglectful or somebody not doing something for me or somebody not being there for me, I always reflect it to him, because even when I tell y'all this story, I still reflect what she did as an impact of what he did. So I think it was a cause and effect. He did something and then it ultimately affected her to end up doing what she did to me. So let me continue the story, but I definitely want to put emphasis on that, because I feel like when I tell this story, y'all get confused or people feel like I'm trying to say I had a bad mother. I did not have a bad mother. I had an amazing mother. And to this day, we don't have a perfect relationship, but we do have a relationship, right? So cool. Took the car and I was making my payments on the car, whatever the case may be. I was back and forth to school, back and forth to work. The reason why I needed a car that was reliable was because I was going to William Patterson. William Patterson was about 30 minutes away from my job. So at this point in my life, I'm going through a lot, right? I'm in school. They just gave me like not the honor roll. They put me in the honor society. And that was an honor because I wasn't in the honor society in high school. So to get that in college was like kind of crazy. My grades was doing good. My relationship was doing good. But I was starting to get to that point in life where it started to get a little rocky for me, because I was a full-time college student and I was full-time working. So it was a little hard for me to like manage the money and stuff. And it started to become a little tight for me, but I was making it work nonetheless. But I really needed this car. So I had to make sure I made it work with this car, because I needed something to get me from work to school. And the way my schedule was set up was, as soon as I finished class at 1 o'clock, I had to be to work by like 1:30, 2 o'clock. It was a 30-minute drive. I had to run across the campus to get to work. I was working from 2 to 10, sometimes 2 to 11. If the overnight manager didn't show up, I would get stuck there till 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Class started at 8 o'clock in the morning. When am I finding time to study? When am I finding time to do homework? It was an extreme struggle. That's why I ended up dropping out of college, was because I chose the business life over that, because I just realized I can't be a broke college student. Like the family, the relatives would keep hitting you with the, oh, Malcolm, it's just 2 more years. Just do me a favor, just push through. How am I push through with no money in my bank account? How am I push through and I'm hungry? Oh, Malcolm, you need to stop saying you hungry. You could come to my house and get a meal anytime. That's the shit they say, but then when you call them, they don't answer the phone. That's why I feel some type of way when I talk about the family, because everybody supports you until it's time to actually be there to support you. I'm telling you right now, out my own mouth, I am hungry as a hostage. I don't have the money in my account to get nothing to eat. I'm hungry, and I'm tired of eating ramen noodles. I did it for 3 weeks straight. I don't want ramen noodles. I can't eat this. I feel like a prisoner. I'm staying on the college campus. I don't even have an apartment. I'm in a freaking dorm with 4 other guys that are not clean. I got a corner in there. The bathroom I got to share is dirty. I'm eating ramen noodles every single day, all because y'all proud of me. This is not making sense. And now I'm going to school. It was all beginning to be too much. But to stay on the story with my mother, right? So my mother gives me a paper one day, and she wants me to get it signed by the school. And I'm like, what is this paper for? Basically, she said the paper was so that she could continue to collect child support from my father. So I'm like, well, how much do you get? So I start reading and stuff. You know, they be trying to fold it up for you so you can't read it and stuff. You know how they be. They be like, just do what I say. Wait a fucking minute. I'm an adult now. I pay bills. I want to know what this is that I got to get signed. So nonetheless, I found out that it was a child support paper, right? It was a child support paper, and essentially, if my mother could prove that I was still in college, she could continue to collect child support while I was in college. And when I found out the dollar amount, because I'm not going to tell y'all that, but when I found out the dollar amount that she was getting in child support, I was heated. So I went to her, had a conversation. I was like, Ma, I'm struggling right now. I don't live in your house. I'm on college. I got to pay the bills. Like, if you just gave me 10% of this check, that would help me out so much. Like, my grades are slipping right now. I'm hungry. I'm stressed out. I told her I had a bald spot in my head at one point. I'm so glad my hair grew back, because what I used to do in college when I was stressed out, and I didn't even know I was doing it, I used to pull my hair. And I know y'all be like, Malcolm, what hair? But even with the hair that I have now, I used to pull it. But I didn't know I was doing it to the point where it was like to alleviate the stress. Cause mind you, I don't smoke, I don't drink, so I didn't have an outlet to alleviate my stress. Like I just knew, like, you know, growing up, like the way I was raised, I wasn't allowed to even think about the option of drinking or smoking. Like that wasn't a thing. So for me as an adult, it never, even when I turned old enough to like get it on my own, that was never a thought to me. Like, oh, maybe I should try to smoke. Maybe I should get something to drink. No, I just started pulling on my hair to the point where I had a bald spot. And my mother knew it because she was the one that took me to the store to help me get the stuff to fix the bald spot. Like she gave the oil and stuff. I'm like, Mom, I'm at school pulling my hair out right now because I'm so stressed out between money and stuff like this. And I get it. I know you need the money. You got to pay bills and stuff like that. But for me, anytime I asked my father for help, his response is he paid the child support. And I didn't know he was giving you that type of money. Like, Ma, for real, weird. Like, and then it got to the point where I start questioning her spending habits. I'm like, what are you spending that type of money on? Like, I'm still not going to tell you the dollar amount, but I'm like, you got a job, you making over 6 figures, and then you're getting this on top of it, and then you got another job. Like, I don't understand. Maybe, and then I start, like, I know to her it started feeling disrespectful, but I didn't mean no disrespect by it, but I start feeling some type of, I'm like, maybe you don't need to be driving the most expensive car. Maybe you don't need to have the biggest house, because if it's to the point where it's like, you're telling me you're struggling, I'm struggling, and maybe we need to downsize. Like, I'm driving a 2007. I feel like I should be in a brand new car. I wanted to lease something brand new. You told me I couldn't, but whole time, like, this is just not, it didn't feel fair to me. Like, you know, even if you gave me 10% of what you was getting, it would help me so much. She said no. So I was like, you know what? Then my response to that is, then I'm not getting this child support paper signed. I'm like, for real, because if my father don't got to pay you the child support, maybe he'll give me something. Maybe I'll go to my father and I'll cut a deal with him. Instead of him giving you 100% of that, maybe he'll give me 50% of that since he don't got to pay it to you through the court no more. It made me so upset. And my mother had a response. Do y'all want to guess what her response was? She wasn't going for that. So one day she was like, okay. And my mother, when she gets upset, she's not the type to yell. She's more the type to like get like real calm. She's like, okay, I'm gonna show you something. And basically me and her didn't talk for a little while. And one day I was at work. Now mind y'all, this is why it was so messed up, because my mother is like, for me, she was like my best friend. So she knows everything that's going on in my life. I told her everything that I was going through and stuff like that. She knew I had just got a promotion at my job. They made me the temporary acting store manager of McDonald's at the time. Like, they didn't officially make me the store manager because they never thought I could handle that type of a position. But I remember my store manager, she had broke her foot. She was out of work. So that the opportunity presented itself. And it's like, you know what, Malcolm, we want to see if you can handle it. For this week, you'll be in charge of the store. You're in charge of the schedule. It was a really big opportunity. Now, mind y'all, I was working in a store where it was predominantly Spanish and everything. Y'all know how jobs 9 to 5s work. That's why I don't work them no more. Everything is about a click. Who you know. If you know this person, whose ass can you kiss? So to be given that opportunity at the time, I didn't realize that I wasn't given an opportunity, that I was being taken advantage of. But back then it felt like, yo, I finally got an opportunity. Let me prove myself. I worked my ass off to prove that I could hold that position, that I could manage that type of position. And I did it effectively all the way up until the day my mother showed up at my job. So here she goes. She pulls up to the job, right? She pulls up to the job, and I see her standing outside. I didn't know what was going on, but my stomach started feeling some type of way. I was like, why is she here, and why is she just standing there? And she was looking at my car, and she was just standing there. I was like, yo, what's she going to do, pop my tires? Like, legitimately. Okay, so cool. Next thing, cop car pulls up. 2 cop cars pull up. And I'm like, oh my God. I did not know why they was there or what was happening, but I knew that they was there because she called them, because I saw her speaking to the officers. When I tell y'all, I don't know how to describe that feeling that I felt in my stomach, but I felt really violated. And I just felt like something was about to happen, because, and now mind y'all, a lot of the staff at the job did not like me, because they didn't feel like I should have got that promotion. Like, even the managers that was like working with me, they didn't like me. But mind you, I was the only manager in the building. So I was with a whole bunch of just regular staff. I was the only manager. I was technically the store manager. Store manager does not need other managers to run their shift. Like, normally, like the swing managers, normally you don't want to put a swing manager by themselves. I was a store manager. I could be by myself. This is my store. I could run it, right? And I was running, everything was running good until she showed up. What made it even worse was that it wasn't busy. Like, it was no customers at the time. Everything was clean. So everybody was just kind of like leaning around and chilling. When I saw the officer pull up, I was like, yo, I'm going to just go to the front. So as the officers walked through the door, I met them at the counter. Like, I didn't want them calling for me, nothing. So they was like, we're looking for Malcolm. And I was like, I'm Malcolm, right? I had a conversation with him, and they basically was like, we need the keys to that car outside or you're getting arrested. And I was like, what do you mean I'm getting arrested? I was like, that's my car. And it was like, we ran the license plates, is registered to, and then they said her name, and she's the owner. She wants her car back. Now at this point, I tried to move the officers more away so people wouldn't see, but everybody was watching. They all came. They're watching me. They're recording me. You know, people gonna talk their shit. They like drama. I'm talking to these officers, and I'm like, officer, that's my car. That's my mother. She's upset right now over some money, and like she can't take my car from me. I was like, I could show y'all. I make all of the payments on that car. I'm here all day. I'm busting my ass to make those payments. I need that car for school. Who's she gonna be to come in here and take the car? Officer one was like, I get it, but he was being really direct with me. He was like, I get it, but we need the keys or you're getting arrested. And I'm like, I started getting emotional, and I was trying to like fight back the tears because I knew I was about to start crying. And I wasn't crying because I was sad. I was crying because I was angry. I worked my ass off every single day to pay that car. I took care of that car. That car got fucking tire shine on it right now. I took good care of it. I'm oil changing it. I'm here right now so I could pay for that car so I could be able to go to school and do what my parents want me to do. And she's gonna come in here with the police like that? Officer number 2 drew his handcuffs. When I tell y'all my heart dropped, I told you I don't mess with the law. And at that point, I bit my tongue and I shut up. And I swallowed. I remember I was like I did a gulp. And I was like, officer, can I take my stuff out the car? Like, he had his handcuffs. He wasn't on that type of timing where he wanted to hear my story. He wanted the car or I was getting locked up. Everybody was staring at me. It was so embarrassing. So I went to the back. I got my car keys. My mother was just standing there looking, and she had that little smirk on her face, like that evil ass smirk. And I just looked at her and I was like, this is what you do? Like, all of the staff was like by the window. They was trying to act like they was sweeping and stuff, but they was watching me. I got 2 garbage bags at the back, and I put all of my stuff inside of the garbage bags, and I dragged it inside of the store, and I put it in the back. The officers gave her the key, and she drove off with my car. Do y'all know how I felt in that moment? Like, everybody was staring at me. Everybody was talking about me. I felt cold. I felt uncomfortable. I felt violated. I felt alone. It broke me. And I didn't realize it broke me in the moment, but it started getting embarrassing because then my supervisor called me. Now, mind you, my supervisor, she's the supervisor of all of the McDonald's. So how the fuck does she know that this happened? Why? Because everybody was probably talking. Somebody probably called her. So she's like, you know how they be. Hi, Malcolm, how are you? How's everything? I was like, oh my God, somebody told her. And you could tell, she was like asking me how I was doing, but you could tell it wasn't one of those genuine, like, caring about me. It was more of those trying to get information. Like, she wanted me to basically tell her what the tea was. Like, oh my God, what happened? And I wasn't in a mood for that, but I didn't want to disrespect my boss. And I also wanted her to know that I'm still a manager. I'm still running the building. I'm okay. I have control. That was nothing. But the rumor was, it wasn't that Malcolm's mother came and took his car. It was that Malcolm is a car thief and he stole some lady's car and she found the car here and she came here with the police. That was the rumor that all of the haters was spreading about me. They was all, Malcolm is a car thief and he steals people's cars, and this lady came here and she had to call the police to get her car back. So now my supervisor was thinking that. And she was basically like, she didn't really ask me questions, but she was like, I'm gonna send another manager to alleviate you, whatever. I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm fine. I had to drag my stuff in the back. It was so embarrassing. Nonetheless, she sent another manager. And she told me basically like, go on break, get some air. So I went on break. I went outside. I took my little lunch break or whatever the case may be. And I sat under a tree. And when I sat under the tree, I remember trying to make a phone call, right? And I just wanted to call my aunt. I just wanted to talk to her, right? And mind you, my aunt is not even blood related to me. She was the only person that I felt comfortable calling in that moment. I felt so alone and so isolated. And when I went to call her, guess what happened? Just guess, if you had to guess in the comments, just guess what happened when I called her. Like, guess before I tell y'all real quick. Just guess what happened. I tried to call her and my phone was off. Why was my phone off? My phone was off because my phone was on my mother's phone plan. She turned my phone off, basically. So now my mother turned my phone off. She took my car. I'm at work. I don't know how I'm going to get back to school. I don't know how I'm going to get home tonight. I don't have a phone. I don't have a car. What am I supposed to do? When I tell you, like, the tears just start coming out. And I had a friend at the time. She came outside and she was like, Malcolm, you can use my phone to call your aunt. I called my aunt and I just cried on the phone to her. Like, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. You don't understand. Like, I'm not close with no relative. And unfortunately for us, like for me at least, I have the type of family where they will judge you more than they will help you. They want to hear about your downfall so that they could judge you. They're not going to help you. So I called my father and I basically told him what happened, and he was really upset about the fact that my mother called the police on me, because it was like, we live in a world right now where unfortunately not every cop is a good cop. Some cops are bad cops. So do you really want to call a police officer on a young black man because you're upset at him over some money? What if that officer would have came, instead of him drawing his handcuffs, what if he would have drew his gun on me? You understand what I'm saying? Like it just, it felt like my mother, like it felt like that wasn't my mother no more. Like it felt like this lady don't love me because you would put me in a situation like, could you imagine if some short-tempered cop came and he thought I was reaching for the key, he thought I was reaching for something, and he pulled a gun on me? Like, and I'm not saying all cops is bad, but why would you put me in a situation like that? Like, and it wasn't even like you asked me for the car back and I said no. You just straight came here on 100, officers is here, and yeah, where's my car? Like, that was crazy. So my father was upset. He went off on her. He was basically like, I can't believe you would do something like that. Like, he didn't care more so about the car or nothing like that. He just cared about the principle behind calling the police on your own son, especially me. Like, I'm the good son. Like, I'm the one that, like, I just go to school, I go to work, I'm on my business. I'm not disrespectful. I'm not I'm not out here in the streets. I'm not messing with no drugs. I go to work, I go to school. That's it. So to do that to me, it's like, wow. Now, what lesson are you trying to teach me in that? Like, it felt like you're trying to make me fail. So while I was sitting under that tree, I had to really realize in that situation, one of two things is about to happen right now, Malcolm. That's when I taught myself swim or drown. And I remember tearing up, but that's when I felt like, and I'm trying not to get emotional as I tell y'all this, but that's when I felt like I had to learn right now in this moment. Am I about to become a man and mature and handle my business and get up off of this ground? Or am I about to let this be the reason why I lose everything? Like, am I about to really lose my job right now because some people is talking shit about me and saying that I steal cars? Am I not about to be able to get to school? Am I about to have to drop out of school because my mother took the car from me because she's mad about me at money? Like, it felt so manipulative. It felt so controlling. I never felt like somebody had so much control over me before, like to the point where I couldn't even call an Uber to go home because my phone didn't have internet. I couldn't even I really, like, every time I got ready, I thought of something to do. I couldn't do it because my phone was off. My phone didn't have internet. I was like, yo, what the I can't even go on my phone. I don't know what to do right now. And yeah, my friend is letting me use her phone, but this shit is embarrassing. I don't want to be like leeching off of her. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was the most embarrassing thing that could have ever been done to me. And especially because it happened by my own mother. So that's when I told myself, swim or drown. I had to pretend I was in the middle of an ocean right now. And if I don't swim, I will drown. I have to swim and I can't stop. I got to get up and I got to keep going. What can I do right now? Let's break this down step by step by step. Right now, I'm at work. I still got a whole shift to finish. I'm a manager. I got to manage this store. I got to show my boss, my supervisor, because she's definitely watching me now, that even though all of this shit is going on, I can still do my job. So I wipe my tears. I walk back inside of that store. I fix myself up. I clocked back in and I did my job. And even though I heard everybody out the corner of my ear talking about me, looking at me, acting funny, I still did what I had to do. Listen, we got to take care of these customers. I got a customer in the window. Can you make sure that they got their food? I got a customer coming up. Hi, how are you? How you doing, Miss Customer? I put a smile on my face. That's when I learned how to fake a smile. That's when I learned how to really just compartmentalize what I'm going through, because I can feel it later. When I get out of here from work, I'll go somewhere and I'll cry after. I can't do it right now. So when it comes to that statement that Gary made to me of, why are you sitting here? Leave this car. Let it go. It's not that big of a deal. This is swim or drown for me. Because after that happened to me, I learned to never put myself in a situation where I have to rely on nobody. I live alone. I pay my own rent. I own my own business. Nobody will ever be able to take something from me again. My phone is my phone. My car is my car. My house is my house. Everything that's mine is going to be mine now. And I'm not attaching it to nobody. And it created a trauma in me, but it was a trauma that forced me to do better. So at that point, I had to start making decisions in my life. Going to college won't work for me, because if I go to college, at this point, it's going to require me to depend on somebody else to help me be able to eat. Right now, I'm pressing pause on college. What can I do so that I can make enough money for me to be able to afford the basic necessities, which is a 1-bedroom house for me to live in and a car to drive? That became my mindset, and after that, something shifted in me, and it forced maturity into me. So my whole thing is to anybody that's watching me, I always tell people, take what you've been through and allow it to motivate you, to push you to do something better than what you was doing yesterday. You can't allow what you've been through, even sometimes it'll be the worst thing of your life. You can't allow it to break you down to a point where you're letting that be the reason why. So sometimes people will look at me and judge me and be like, oh, Malcolm is not being humble when I say certain things. No, I've been through the same shit you've been through. But when people say things to me like, oh, my father didn't do nothing for me, that's why my life is like this, that's why I'm going through this. No, let that be the reason why you're doing better. You understand what I'm saying? So they'll be like, oh, Malcolm, you don't understand because you had everything handed to you. I wasn't handed shit but trauma. If you want to know for real, I don't have one relative that has ever invested in my business. And I want one of them to come and say that they did. Show me if you could find one person with the same last name as me that has ever invested in my business. None of them. They've never, and they won't. They're haters, most of them anyway. So for me personally, I tell people to take what you've been through and turn it. Let it push you to do something different. Let it push you. Let that be the reason, the fuel for you. So for me, when I think about, oh, I'm struggling, I'm going through this, I have to tell myself, it's swim or drown. I don't got nobody to turn to. So if I don't pay this bill, it won't get paid. If I don't pay the light bill, who's going to come pay it for me? I don't have that mindset of, oh, I could just go depend on this person. I could go live on this person's couch. That's why it's hard for people to be friends with me, because I won't understand being 26 and you still live with your mother. Maybe you got a good relationship with your mother and you're saving money, but for me, I don't understand it because it wasn't like that for me. I had to move out. I had to figure everything out. I had to grow up very, very fast. Very, very fast. Otherwise, I know I would have turned to the wrong way. I would have probably been selling drugs, whatever the case may be. I would have probably been out here on the street somewhere. 7 baby mamas. I had to really work so that I didn't end up in that type of a predicament. So with that being said, as it relates to this Dodge Charger situation, to anybody that was wondering, like, don't you think that was dangerous to be put in that situation? No, I think it would have been more dangerous for me to abandon myself. Me leaving that car would have been me abandoning myself. Me saying, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to leave it on. Yeah, it is that big of a deal. Because the thing that I had to tell Gary, and I always say this to him, it's no shade. I love this for you. I'm happy you got a life like that. But I don't have no relatives that I could call that's going to write me no check. I don't have no relatives that I'm going to call that's going to be there for me in that type of way. A lot of people say they'll be there for you up until it's time for them to actually be there for you. A lot of people say they support you up until it's actually time to support you. A lot of people walk with words and not actions. And what I tell people in my reality now, I focus on the actions. I'm not calling you auntie if you've never been no aunt to me. I'm not calling you father if you've never been a father to me. You in real life have people out here that will say that they're supposed to be all these titles, and they could basically show you how they could give a fuck about you. You know, my father sent me a text message. That's where I could kid you not. I could show you the receipt. He sent me a text message and told me he's running for an elected office. I couldn't believe it. It broke my spirit because it was like, when I needed help from you, when I came to you, you told me that you not helping me is you helping me. It's going to make me a man or whatever. He told me that all of my success is equated to none of the things that he did for me. Wow. Where's that same energy now that you're running for an elected office? So you mean to tell me now you're going to run for an elected office, you're going to go help the city, but what about your child? You better not let me get on the microphone. That's all I have to say about it. Like, I don't know what he wanted to talk to me about when he was like, yeah, I'm running for office and I need to talk to you, because I hope it's to give me like a settlement so that I don't go on a microphone, because if you think I'm gonna advocate for you, I personally, it's no disrespect, but I don't know how the man that couldn't be there for his own child could go be there for the city. I don't know. I have a blood sister that I didn't meet till I was like 16 years old, and he only introduced me to her and my other brother at a cookout. Like, it's to the point where now I don't even know these individuals because I didn't meet them until I was already a teenager. How can a person that's that dysfunctional when it comes to their own family be able to go out here and run the city? I'm sorry, I wouldn't advocate for it. But it was really hurtful. It did hit me to a low point, and it's just, those are the type of things, and I want to share my stories with you guys, because as I build in the business and whatnot, and as I like to coach people, I see so much times people will book a phone call with me and they'll be scared to tell me things about them, like they got bad credit. I had bad credit before. It's repairable, it's reusable, it's recyclable. Bad credit is not the end of the world. I don't know why people be scared to say they got bad credit. So if you think you're the only person out there that's been through something in life, I'm here to tell you, you are not the only person that's been through something in life. There are other people out here, including myself, that have been through things that may have been through worse, may have not been through worse, may have been through something similar. But I'm telling you, we all go through stuff. This is life. A person pretending that, they shit don't stink, is something wrong with them. I'm here to tell you, the only person that don't go through something is somebody that's not out there trying to do exactly what you're trying to do, which is better yourself, which is to start your business, which is to get into your career job, which is to get your dream car. When you try to elevate yourself, you're going to go through stuff. You're going to lose people. And I'm going to tell you the truth, honestly speaking, a lot of those people will be people that was blood related to you. So nonetheless, I don't want to lecture y'all forever on this topic. I don't know how long this video has been now. I just kind of been going at it for a while now. What I do want to tell y'all is that you can start your business. To anybody that's watching me, if you're watching this YouTube video and you made it this far in the video, I want to go ahead and give you the discount code. The discount code is going to be START, START. That will give you 50% off the car rental course that is going to be linked in the description. The link to that is in my bio on all of my social media platforms. If you use the discount START after you watch this video, it will give you the 50% off so that you can start the car rental business. You can do a car rental business just like I did. I'm telling y'all, from the stuff that I've been through to the point where my own mother has stripped me down to not having nothing, and I still managed to get up and do it, it's doable. I like the car rental business because it doesn't require much money to get started. I like the car rental business because you don't need a lot of stuff. You need the car, you got an iPhone, take pictures of the car, and a tracking device. Take pictures of the car, put a tracker in the car, post it. It's really, I don't want to say it's that simple because there's more that goes into it, but that is something that you'll learn in the car rental course. But it is really that simple as far as the things that you need. It's not a business where you gotta go you gotta buy a commercial place and have this big building and then you gotta find out about all of this and all of that and all of this and all of that. You gotta get all these supplies, you gotta get the inventory, you gotta get the employees. You could be the employee. It's not gonna be that hard. So what I'm gonna tell you guys is, I'm gonna leave you on this note. Turn your pain to a purpose. Allow what you've been through to push you and motivate you. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will definitely see you guys on the next one. But make sure before you leave that you subscribe. Make sure that you like. Make sure that you share. I gotta push the YouTube, and I can only push the YouTube if you guys push the YouTube. So definitely, if you could please sign into your Google account. Because me personally, if I don't subscribe, it's because I didn't know how to sign into my Google account. Sign into your Google account so you can subscribe so that you can stay up to date with the next story time that I have. I have a lot of stories like similar to this. So if you enjoyed this, put a like up, put a comment, drop some fire flames in the comments for me. I would genuinely appreciate it. And I look forward to talking to you guys on the next one.